What is going on, everyone? This is Eric, and welcome to another season of Crown Basketball and me doing these analytics. Again, just a little bit of a history here. I've been doing this for a long time, the attention to numbers. I have a background in all kinds of numbers related endeavors, which you can feel free to Google if you'd like. Nonetheless, I've been working with Chris since I stopped coaching 4 or 5 years ago. And the idea here at the beginning was to help coaches and to teach coaches the correct way to distribute shots and to how to analyze games to try to kind of follow along with the trends of basketball, which have been developing over the last 10 years. And again, I won't spend too much time on that, but the idea is that, one lesson that you can all learn in life is that the things that get figured out first are figured out by the people that make the most money. I mean, that's typically the way life works. And the NBA, because they make the most money, figured it out about 10, 15, about 10 years ago about what are good shots, what are bad shots, how you're supposed to play basketball. And slowly but surely, that information, that approach is filtered down to the colleges who make the next most money. And then eventually it's going to filter down into high school. But for me, I started teaching these kids this type of stuff back when they were in seventh grade, at eighth grade. And my idea was actually just to teach coaches and to try to bring uh, this method of playing basketball all the way down to youth basketball, at the very least down to college, high school and colleges. And so when I decided I was going to do this huddle thing, I'm doing it for maybe reasons different than the way Chris is using it, the way you guys are using it. You can use huddle to create clips, to create highlight reels, to help with recruiting, and we're going to talk about how to do that eventually. But I'm using it specifically for the basketball piece. Thing about the recruiting and the colleges and all that stuff, that really doesn't interest me for a number of reasons, but whatever. I'm completely interested in the basketball part and how to teach coaches how to analyze these numbers. Now, as I started doing it, some of the kids and the parents said, "Hey, this is like really interesting to me." So I decided that these videos I would create and let the kids learn from them as well. So whatever you guys are learning from this, that's great. And uh, I'll show you guys a little couple of tricks on how to look at your own stuff and try to improve. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. The one thing I will also tell you is that the question of what is a good shot or not, uh, to me, it's clear, but to you guys as players, remember, what's a good shot to a player is honestly what's going to keep him in the game more, right? So it doesn't matter what I tell you as players. If what you do angers the coach, then it's bad, right? Because all you care about honestly in life is being on the court right now. You know what I mean? You don't really care too much about the long-term expected value of your shots. I mean, all you're really concerned about is being on the court. So that's why I'm really more concerned that the coaches understand what I'm saying, because the coaches then, translate these lessons into actual playing time for kids, then the kids will respond, and you guys will respond nonetheless. Um, so what we're going to do here is after each tournament, I think, hopefully, we're going to do a review of the games from a statistical perspective. We're going to talk about what type of goals we're expecting and whether we're meeting them. And as the season goes on, you'll see that these stats start to pile up. And I'm also going to talk individually about what you guys need to do from a statistical perspective to be good individual players. And we'll talk about it over the course of the season. So with that said, may as well get started. So the first thing I want to remind you guys is this. As a team, there are three main numbers that we're going to be looking at. And that number is going to be your effective field goal percentage as a team, your turnover rate, and your offensive rebound percentage. And what I want to give you guys are these kind of key numbers that you need to be striving for as a team, on a season-wide basis and on a game-by-game basis, And the reason I give you these specific numbers is that based on all of my analysis and all of my work tracking everybody of your age group, these are the numbers that win the types of tournaments that Chris is going to demand that you play. So when I say you need XYZ expected field goal percentage for your league, it's not because you can't beat like terrible teams without it. It means that you're going to need to do that to win these types of tournaments. Okay. Okay, let's just may as well get right into it. First thing, effective field goal percentage. What you guys are going to need to do on a game-by-game basis, and hopefully it's a season, is to have an effective field goal percentage of 55%. That's 5-5. Now, that doesn't mean actual field goal percentage. It means effective field goal percentage. And again, what effective field goal percentage accounts for is the fact that three-point shots are worth 1.5 times as much as a two-point shot. So if you make a shot from two, it's going to be worth, 2 points. If you make a shot from three, it's going to be worth 3 points. And that's going to reflect in your effective field goal percentage. So, like, for example, if you shot nothing but 2-point shots, and you shot 50%, then your effective field goal percentage would be 50%. But if you shot only 3-point shots and you shot 50%, then your effective field goal percentage should actually be 75% because each 3-point shot is worth 1.5 times what a 2-point shot is. And likewise, if you shot nothing but threes and you shot 33% from the field, then that would be an effective field goal percentage of 50. Because again, your 33 times 1.5 is 50. So now effective field goal percentage for you guys needs to be at 55% for the season and each game. Now, this first game against against Good Energy, this is the one that concerns me. Because yeah, you were good enough to beat this bunch, but I promise you that if you shoot an effective field goal percentage of 46% at Spooky Nuke or against anybody that's any good, you're not going to win. It's just not going to happen. So these are the numbers and these are the games that we have to look at, because this effective field goal percentage is just not going to work as we go forward. And we're going to get into how this is derived in a minute and how you can improve it. Turnover rate. What I need from you guys for your turnover rate is at most 15%. Okay. I would actually prefer you kept your turnover rate below 10, but somewhere between 10 and 15 is acceptable to win games at your level. And offensive rebound percentage, I want about 35, but 30% is going to be your minimum. So what that means is that of the shots that you miss, you get 30% of those and offensive rebound. So those are going to be your three metrics that we're going to harp on every single game. And do you have an effective field goal percentage of 55? Do you have a turnover rate of 15 or less? Or do you have an offensive rebound percentage of 30 or less? Now, or higher. Now, you are fine with turnover rate and offensive rebound percentage, but the most important thing is the effective field goal percentage, and you're at 46%, and that's no good. So what you do next is we have to kind of get into it and see where this came from and make sure that you are taking good shots. Okay. Now, in my world, okay, a good shot is going to be either an open three or a layup. Okay. And for those of you that have not been with me yet, you got to get used to this. This is just the key to analytic life, okay? Is to shoot nothing but threes and preferably wide open threes and layups. Everything in here is death, okay? This is analytics death, shooting all of these mid-range shots. You don't make enough of them to compensate for the fact that they're only worth 2 points. Okay. You guys shoot, and this is like over hundreds and hundreds of games. Okay. About 40% from these mid-range. So if we need an effective field goal percentage of 55%, and these are all going to be worth 2 points, it's easy to see statistically that you should never be shooting them. So usually what happens is that when you shoot a poor effective field goal percentage, it's usually because your shot selection is no good. It could be because you're just not very good shooters, and that's something you can address in training, right? You're not shooting well enough, but taking good shots, get better at shooting. Okay, but what you can control is what types of shots you take when you're on the court. And you as players can control this, and coaches can certainly control this by running offense in a way that creates these types of shots and giving the correct feedback loop for those players that either take these types of bad shots or do not. Okay, so what we have here is 1, 4, 5, 8, 9 bad twos. That's what I like to call these, and they're just bad twos. When I ever show up at these games, I'm going to be yelling bad two every time you take them. Okay. And what you need to do is keep this number, the amount of bad twos you take, below 10% of your shot selection. So if you have 63 field goals attempted, then you need to have 6 at most. Okay. Now, that's actually being not even that greedy. What I'd love to see are perfect shot charts. And when you pull up the NBA shot charts, that's all you get almost always perfect shot charts. When you pull up the top D1 schools like Connecticut or whatever, all you see are threes, not all, but very, very few in there. And for you guys, again, I'd love to have it at the most 10% of it. Now, again, if you want, even as coaches, you could click through here and see what some of these bad twos look like. So you click through here, and from this game, it will show you. Yep, see that? Was it type Nikeem? See, that's a bad two, right? We can look at it again. There's Orlando, bad two. And you can click through there. And then who's this? Kyle. That was just awful. I don't know what that was. But you can look through these. Let's look at this again. There's Orlando's bad too. Who's the other? Nikeem's was the first one. Yeah, Nikeem. See that? And that's a bad too. So as coaches or as players, you can go in here, or you can look at I don't know. Let's look at it from this side. Let's take a look at these. So who is this? This is Kyle. Otherwise, had a good game, but see that? Right from here, it's not going to work. You're too good from 3 to take those kind of shots. That one, just your foot was on the line. So you got to watch that, obviously. Let's see this one. There you go. See? Orlando, bad too. So throughout the course of the season, you're going to hear me kind of really get on you guys about these. Okay? All right. Let's go back into the stats. Not the edge game. We'll go back into the good energy game. And now we'll take a look at the actual numbers. Okay, so now let's just see where it kind of came from, like some of these bad shots here. So from 3, we had Manny with 0 for 5. So what you can do, again, I don't know at this point if you're, what kind of shooter you are. If Chris tells you should be taking threes, then you probably should. But what do I know? But this thing you're always going to be watching, And again, if you want to see what your types of threes are, like Manny, like you could click on this, and because listen, I'm not picking on you, right? But let's click on this, and then we can see all of Manny's threes. Look at that. See? Is that a good shot or bad shot? I don't know. That's up to you to decide, right? Was that level of being contested, or is that an open 3? See, I think that's actually a pretty good shot. But that's my opinion, right? What's the coach's opinion? Look at this one. This one's awesome. I mean, how could you not take that? See, I have no problem with that. As long as you can make that, and there's no other like time and score issues. Like, look at this, wide open. I mean, you could take, so you could probably take that, or you could have thrown it over to Orlando, whatever. And let's see your other one. So I don't think I'm going to get on you for taking these threes as long as you're skilled enough, to make them. These are not bad threes, so you go and throw for 5. That's just kind of the way life is going to be. Okay. Now the other thing, so we'll look at who was kind of like, Nikeem was what, was 1 for 2 from 3. Chase, you were 2 for 7 from 3. So again, you could click through and see which of these were good threes, which you think you're bad, or whatever. Um, from two, everybody was just kind of okay. How about assists and turnovers? So, Manny, you had four turnovers in this game. I'm not worried too much about that if you're going to come up with five assists, but it's also a good idea. Again, if you have the turnovers, you can click through them. So again, Manny, you're just going to be the guy this week that kind of feels the heat, right? So let's see. That's kind of a joint turnover, I guess. Let's see Manny bringing it up, and yeah, not the best. And I promise you, everybody's going to get called out as far as videos go this year. All right, so that, oh, he stepped on the line. One thing I will say, Manny, we're gonna look through these again. Go through all of them again. Your body language is kind of rough here. Let's see. Let's see. I guess that one's not too bad, but here, this one maybe. Yeah. Oh, slumped over, all depressed, down on your luck. Don't worry about it. You're a great player. You're gonna do that sometimes. Next play. Oh, look at that. Sulking. Don't worry about it. You're good. All good. It's just basketball. You'll be fine. Yeah, I know. Life is bad. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about it. So, between the turnovers, which wasn't great, and kind of just the bad shot selection was not good. You know what I mean? Like those bad twos are no good. Uh, and if you could have corrected those, your effective field goal percentage would have been closer to 55, and you would have blown this team out of the freaking building. Okay. Now, again, it turns out they're no good, so you're going to win the game anyway, but this type of thing is not going to travel very well. Let's put it that way. Now, as individuals, well, hold on. Let's go to the other game, which we're going to be a lot better because that team was even like much, much worse. So here, Crown versus Edge. Let's take a look at your overall. So here, your effective field goal percentage was a full 77%. You know what I mean? Like, and that's when you get nothing but easy shots and you make them all. Here, your turnover rate is 7%, which is significantly below the 10 even. You didn't get too many offensive rebounds because you didn't miss too many shots, so that's not too big of a deal. Let's take a look at the shot chart from this game. Now here, this is what a good shot chart looks like. You know, you have only 3 bad twos, right? Only 3 shots in that dead range. So that means you're under 10%, and that usually corresponds to wins. So yeah. Let's pull up the individuals from this game, and let's see what we did. We have, well, let's look from 3 first. We have Weedy was 3 for 7 from 3. Kyle 1 for 3. Chase 2 for 2 from 3. Nykeem 3 for 3 from 3. But it was really basically a layup fest for everybody. You know, you had Isaiah 5 for 5 at the rim. You know, Nakeem, listen to that, 6 for 6 overall. Very, very nice. And again, if you want, you know, you can click on ones that you made. For example, here we click on this, and these are all of Nakeem's threes that he made. All the ones he took in this game. Look at that. Good. Uncontested. Very nice. Let's see. I like Orlando cutting through, making that work. And then Orlando finding Nakeem. All right, this one's a little contested. I don't really like that one. But, you know, you guys are up 40. I mean, what are you going to do? So there's not much to really complain about from this game, so no one's going to get really called out. So then what we want to do is we want to take a look at the season. Now, again, it's not going to look like much right now because there are only 2 games, but you'll see pretty quickly this this kind of starts to pile up. Okay. Now I want to give you some individual goals to try to attain to contribute to the team goals that I set forth as far as the percentages go. So what I want you guys to be able to do, now again, you're different types of players, but from a scoring perspective or shooting perspective, I want you guys to aim to do one of 2 things. Either be able to shoot 55% from 2 or 38% from 3. And the reason for that is either of those 2 things will correspond to that 55% effective field goal percentage, right? So if you can shoot 55% from two, great. Then almost never take a three, right? And if you can shoot 38% from three, you multiply that by 1.5 and you have 55%. So that's going to correspond to a good effective field goal percentage. So from an individual perspective, these are the two things you can try to achieve. Now, there's also kind of a separate bonus. Like if you can do both, if you can put up 55% from two and 38% from three, that's extremely good. Now, every year you get somewhere between one and three guys that can do that. And that's behaving very, very efficiently. So that's really something you could try to do. 55% from two and 38% from three, but you've got to be able to do at least one of them. Okay? You've got to. So like right now, again, this is like dumb because it's like really early in the season, but like right now, I would say, okay, Kyle, 50% from three. Uh, that's above 38. You have Chase, 44%, that's above 38. Nakeem, obviously 80%, that's well above, whatever. So you're gonna these stats are gonna make have a lot more meat like when you put more games up. But these are the things that we're going to continue to look at and to work on. That's pretty much all I have for now. If you do have, if your parents or anybody you want to be on the email list, make sure that you let me know that, and also make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you can get notified when other videos go up. Well, listen, it's going to be a very interesting year for you guys. I'm looking forward to see how well you guys can perform and to, guide you along the way. That'll do it. Good luck, everybody.